Okay, we'll go ahead and call this public hearing to order. It is Tuesday, January the 16th, 2024 at 6:45 PM. Could you do a roll call, please?
Brooks.
Here.
Duvall.
Absent.
Hallinan.
Here.
Hedges.
Here.
Politska.
Here.
Tice.
Here.
Okay. We have a public hearing tonight for two purposes. And Linda, can you first tell us if this was published as a legal notice required by
Yes.
law?
Yes, it was. It was published in the local newspaper and on the website.
Okay. And could you tell us what the two purposes of tonight's public hearing are?
Yes. Various amendments to the City of Circleville official zoning code text and an amendment to the City of Circleville official zoning map to include, excuse me, the 2015 rezoning ordinance 1295-2015 of the property owned by DK Wolf Family Investments LLC, parcel number A051143002600 from AG Agricultural District to LDR Low Density Single Unit Residential District, amending the existing City of Circleville official zoning map.
Okay. The second one?
That was two.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the next paragraph. On behalf of the administration, we have Hannah Wynn here tonight, our code enforcement officer, that's going to speak to the amendments and the reason for the public hearing. So Hannah, welcome.
Hello. Good to see you all. Let me get this plugged in. Okay, so I've got a quick presentation. You guys should all have a copy of it, but I'm going to run through it quickly. Hopefully have time for public comment. So first up, pretty straightforward. Just going to put in a table of contents to better navigate the code because it's pretty dense. So this should help. Then we're just going to add in a definition for a canopy sign. It's just one of the signs that we missed a definition for. So I just pulled one that's a pretty commonly used one, just to add that in. And then I'm proposing that we add some residential uses in certain commercial districts. So the first one being the neighborhood business district. You can see the purpose of it there is to create small-scale commercial corridor to serve those who live nearby. Currently, we don't allow any residential uses in this district, but I'm proposing that we add single-unit dwellings as a permitted use in this district because there are a lot of single-unit dwellings that already exist in this district. Right now, they'd be considered a non-conforming use, so that's why I'm proposing that we just add that as a permitted use. And the primary NB corridor is across from the cemetery on North Court Street, just to give you an idea of what that district is. And the next one is the downtown business district. You know, the purpose of it is to have a mix of uses with residential on the second and higher floors. We currently don't allow that. So I'm just proposing that we add multi-unit residential as a permitted use on the second and higher floors in the downtown business district. Next, just to kind of clarify what signs are exempt from a permit. Small temporary signs are not required to have a permit, but they're not listed on this list of exempt permits, so just adding it there for clarity. And I want to change some of the max sizes for projecting signs. Right now, the way that we measure projecting signs is both sides of the sign count towards the max square footage, and that's not common in most other surrounding communities. So I've kind of looked at what they do and what their max size is, and I've come up with a total of 8 square feet, but that's just one side, so you don't have to count both towards it. Right now, our total is 6 square feet, but that's counting both sides, so it's basically a 3 square foot sign. We've had a couple of variances for this already, so just kind of get in line with other communities and reduce the amount of variances required. Window signs, pretty similar, just kind of looked at what other surrounding communities do. And it's pretty typical to have 33% of the window area as the max size instead of 15 square feet. So I'm just proposing that we kind of follow suit with surrounding communities. Seems to be pretty standard. This one is just a correction that was brought to my attention by a member of the church. This is listed in Appendix A of the historic places, so just to correct that for what the name of the church actually is. And then this is the map correction that Linda mentioned earlier. It was previously rezoned to R2 in 2015. LDR is the equivalent district that we have today. So I'm proposing that we just make that correction. It seemed to have been missed when we did our big zoning code update. So just get this back to what it was rezoned to in 2015 to be ready for future development. And then I do have one more that I want to add. This wasn't included in my public hearing to planning and zoning, but it's come to my attention that right now our setback for accessory structures, so sheds, garages, et cetera, is 5 feet from any property line across all districts. And in our HSU and TUR districts, the side setback for a house is 3 feet. So it doesn't make sense that your shed has to be set back further than your house. So I'm just proposing that we change that to 5 feet or the equivalent of the side yard setback, whichever is less. So in those districts, you can be 3 feet away to line up with your house. And that is it.
So a couple questions for you. So what was the vote by planning and zoning on these proposed changes?
They recommended everything for passage.
Okay. And this addition, this one-page addition, is that significant enough that should, can we just add it to this, or can we have to have any other additional work or go-dos for this?
No, I consulted with Kendra earlier and she said that it's minor enough that it can just be added to this current batch.
Okay. All right. Is that all you have for your presentation?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I'll open it up for anybody from the public that would like to speak to these proposed changes for the purpose of the public hearing. Are there any comments? Does council have any questions or comments? Katie?
Thanks. I just have one quick question for Hannah. Hannah, thanks for your continued to work on this. I know this continues to be a process.
Mhm.
So most of these, it sounds like, are just true corrections from the work that we did.
Yep.
I'm curious though, for the ones that aren't corrections, like the projecting signs, for example, and the window signs. Are you trying to make those changes based on just, I know that you had mentioned it's not some, it's dissimilar to other areas.
Mhm.
Are you just coming across that, or are you garnering that information from variance applications that we're getting?
We have gotten multiple variance applications for projecting signs especially. And I've seen some window signs that probably wouldn't fit into that right now. So I think just moving forward, it'll reduce the amount of variances that we need and hopefully help some businesses downtown get their signage up. So
Thanks.
Anyone else have questions or comments? Okay, so the next step is the proposed legislation for these changes would be sent to the Judicial Committee chaired by Tom Klitschko. So Hannah, whenever Tom has the time and ability to schedule a meeting, if you could be there to help explain those changes and just answer questions, and Tom's committee will consider it, and then ultimately it should be get sent to council.
Sounds good.
Okay. Anyone have anything else? If not, I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing. So moved by Katie Hedges, seconded by Zach Brooks. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The public hearing is closed at 6:53 p.m. City Council will start